Welcome to 949 Racing SuperMiata. We're going to talk about end link setup here for the SuperMiata adjustable end links. First thing we want to show you is the range of motion of the bearings, and that's got to be set to avoid damaging the bearing. You'll notice that this one here will swing back and forth about 35 degrees. Now it's important to have both bearings lined up to use the same range of motion. Now you see the top bearing, I can zoom in here, is bottoming right there, and the bottom bearing is also bottoming at the same point. What you don't want to have is this one bottoming here and that one bottoming here, because then they would be bound. So they've got to be able to swing back and forth and both bottom at the same time. So that's one important thing. You notice this one has a few spacers there. We try to get it where it's about 90 degrees to the end of the bar. It's not always possible. Every sway bar is a little bit different. This is a stock sway bar, with some aftermarket bars are a little longer, shorter. That angle will change. One other important thing you want to do on the Miatas is center the rear bar left to right. Now you see this one here does not have stops on it like the Mazda Speed bar does, but you want to make sure that you've got this bar swung back and forth so that these end links are about the same angle left and right, so that way you can get your adjustment centered. If you're corner weighting the car, as we're doing here, we've got the car on hub stand, so the car, even though it's kind of floating magically, it's actually resting on its wheels, so as if it were on the ground. Now we like to use the hub stands so that we can get the sway bar set with the weight of the car on the end links. So then you'll adjust them so that there's no preload on the bar, lock down the nuts, and you're centering the bushings there. So let's go around to the front and look in more detail at the front links. Now you want to do the front preload first. In the rear you're going to do the same basic thing. Now here we've got the actual coupler is loose. You see we can rotate it back and forth. Now what you would do is, once you get the car loaded, get the sway bar roughly level to the ground is what you're looking for, with the car on the ground. So you don't want to have the bar tilted up like this where it's going to hit the control arm, or down where where it's pinching other stuff in the car. So you want to have this roughly level. That's kind of ideal. And you want to try to get this in link about 90 degrees. Now again, this is an OEM bar, so we're able to do that. With some sway bars, the adjustment hole might be here, so the in link will be at an angle. If you can't fix it, don't worry about it. Don't put 13 spacers on here and put this bolt all the way near the steering arm. The reason why is this, the inner tie rod end actually swings back and forth and will hit the sway bar if you've got it too far out. So we usually recommend no more than 15 millimeter spacers. I don't know if you can see there. I'm going to zoom in. This has got two spacers here, one the thick one and the thin one. That's a 10 and a 5. Recommend no more than 15 millimeters of spacers on any connection. So if you have to go no more than 15 on the, you notice this is an NB single shear. You don't want to have this so far out that you're putting a bending load on this tab, because that'll break it off. So no more than about 15 millimeters. The same goes for this upper connection here. So we've done the same thing here, where we've adjusted our swing back and forth so that they both lock at the same time. Again, this one's loose. So what you would do is simply, once you get the car all done, the car's aligned, you're ready to set your corner weights are already done. The last thing you're going to do is basically turn this turnbuckle back and forth, and you'll feel it go tight one way, put preload on the bar, have a little spot where it's nice and free with no resistance, and turn the other way and it'll start pulling down on the bar and you got resistance. So you go to that middle spot where you don't feel any resistance, lock down the nuts, make sure you've got plenty of swing back and forth, that both these bearings lock at the same point, and you're done. Pretty basic, straightforward. If you have any other questions, go to supermiata.com or 949racing.com. We'll see you on the track.